The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Cambium. Today's host is Judy McCall, and she is with the North American Wi-Fi Business Development. And so we are very excited to have her here with us today. And if anyone has any questions at the end of the presentation, please feel free to submit them in the question box, and I will read them off to Judy, and she will answer them. Judy, thank you very much for joining us today, and you are set to go.
Good. Thank you, Julie. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your time today. I'm very excited to bring some good information to you about a solution for wireless for the hospitality market. Again, my name is Judy McCall. I'm in the North American Business Development team for Wi-Fi here at Cambium Networks. When we look at Cambium Networks and the agenda that we're going to have today, I want to introduce you to the portfolio and focus on Wi-Fi, and also talk about our ecosystem solution partners in hospitality, some case studies, a look at some of the upcoming features, resources where you can get more information. So let's get started. Why is good connectivity important for a hotel? Well, you know, I travel about every other week, so having a great internet connection and Wi-Fi throughout a hotel is now what we're calling the #1 hotel amenity. Just a little story. Last year in the November timeframe, I met a very nice gentleman, and he represented one of the largest campgrounds, which is a hospitality industry. And he said that they did a study in 2016, and it was the #4 campground amenity. But in hotels, it is the #1 amenity. So I know when I work with partners in the industry, and what they say to me is that if they have a bad experience with Wi-Fi, they think negatively about the hotel. So a good way to always start and work with a hospitality customer is just say, how's your Wi-Fi? It can get a conversation going really quickly. So did you know 65% of the guests are online within 7 minutes of checking in? And with smart technology, it can be even faster, as most people use their phones to get emails, to send information, get on social sites, etc. So that's an interesting statistic also. And there is a website dedicated to testing Wi-Fi with different hotels, and they rank them. It's Hotel Wi-Fi Test. So it is really becoming very important to have good Wi-Fi in a hotel. So what can Cambium Networks do to help out with this? Well, we have a lot of different wireless applications, not just Wi-Fi. We can provide Wi-Fi in rooms, as you can see. We can provide it from building to building. We have transport. If you want to bring your internet into one building and then disperse it to different buildings, we can do all of that. So we have guest rooms, meeting areas. Even if a hotel has their own Wi-Fi for their in-rooms, many hotels will put in a secondary Wi-Fi system for a conference area and meeting rooms, just to make sure that they have the bandwidth and they can control that environment. So you could overlay our Wi-Fi with somebody else's that might already be installed in a hotel. Outdoor. Now, outdoor Wi-Fi is becoming very, very important. I did a proof of concept in the May timeframe, and it was for our outdoor antenna. And what it did is the hotel was on the beach, and they wanted to cover the pool area, but not cover everything on the beach. So we installed one of our sectorized antennas in the outside, mounted on a pole, and then it allowed the people at the pool to use the Wi-Fi, but not the folks on the beach. So great selection in the outdoor. And we have the wireless backhaul transport. So that's building to building, or internet provider to the building, and then dispersing it to other buildings. Again, your applications, you know, your outdoor for connecting your locations, indoor for the rooms, meeting. Also remember, many of our solutions have 2 PoE ports out, so you can easily connect a camera indoors or outdoors with our Wi-Fi solution. cnMaestro is the cloud what I like to call our cloud controller. And it is a feature that is built in to our Wi-Fi product. It can be a feature that allows you to plan your Wi-Fi, onboard your devices, look at your traffic, download the emails of whoever's gotten on the Wi-Fi system. So it's not only an onboarding tool, it's a controller, but it's not the typical controller. You do not need cnMaestro to make Wi-Fi work. It's just a methodology that you can use to see all of your end devices, and it is built with security. You don't have to have VPN. You can download this solution, our cloud-based manager, right from the internet from our website. We host that at AWS in multiple locations, so we have a secure backup. But if a customer has their own network, or they rent space in a data center, or they're a managed service provider and they want to put Maestro on their servers, you can do that also. So you could have it in the public cloud, you can have it on a private cloud behind a firewall, or you don't even have to use Maestro to make sure that your system's up and working. Again, great functionality for you. And did I tell you, there's no cost to it. This is free. So when you look at in-building Wi-Fi, we have quite a few different APs that are available today. So when you look at our APs indoors, E stands for enterprise, and we have a 400, a 410, and a 600. And you can see the difference between those. And in the hospitality market, especially in hotels, wall plates are what the hoteliers want many times. So to plug right into a outlet in the room. The wall plate option, our E430, will be coming out this fall. So you have 4 different enterprise APs. They start at $195 for the 400 or the 410. They go up to $300 for the 600, and the wall plate we have not priced yet. So good options for the internal part of a hotel. Now on the outside, don't ever forget the outside with a hotel. We talked about the back hall. We talked about building to building. Well, we have several choices for you in outdoor APs. We have a small little hotspot that you see on the left side, and that could be used. Let's say there was a hotel that had a festival at it, and let's just say the festival was at the beach, and they had a vendor there that needed to use their Wi-Fi to ring up sales on their cube. You could put a hotspot out there, and then they would have connectivity to the internet if they didn't want to use their data minutes to ring up any of the sales at the festival. You could also cover that festival with the E500. That's our omnidirectional outdoor AP, so that would cover 360 degrees. And it goes approximately 700 feet. So you might have to have multiple E500. But now, if you wanted to cover that pool area, the example I gave you a few minutes ago, then you could use a sectorized antenna. And our E501S is a 90 to 120 degree sector. So you look at it as a slice of pie, and that's the area you're providing internet service to. If you want a smaller sector, you can use our new 502S that's coming out this fall, and it has a 30 degree sector. So these are all IP67 rated. So if you have elements like wind, cold, snow, rain, all of that, it is a contained unit. It is ruggedized up to the IP67 standard. So when you look at the PoE output, there's some of the PoE outputs. And we do have LTE filtering, of course, which is becoming very important on the 500 through the 502. So never forget the outdoor in a hospitality environment. Now, something that's very important in the hospitality sector is what we call a captive portal in the industry. So if you're working with a small, let's say a small hotel, maybe the hotelier owns 2 or 3 hotels. They're not owned by Marriott. They're not owned by Holiday Inn. And they want to allow a guest, give them guest access, but also advertise to them. So when they check in, they will give them access with a password. You don't have to have a password. And then they can put up their own splash page. So you see this here, it's ABC Airport Wi-Fi. Well, that could be ABC Hotel and free Wi-Fi provided by, whatever name they wanted to use there. So this is built in the software, very important, not only in hospitality, but in retail, in public spaces. Many times people will want to advertise to patrons that maybe go to a park. And my example is a dog park. So you bring your dog to the dog park and they go out and they play with the other dogs. Well, what do? Most people get on their phone right away. Well, what about advertising there to those patrons that are letting their dog play on their phone when they get on Wi-Fi? You can do that. You can have multiple different advertisements. You can put time of day routing on them, anything that would help advertise the business. So as you can see, everything is fully customizable. Your images, your text, your colors, your fonts. We do have some built-in templates that make it easier for you to get started. And you preview everything you do when you import your colors, your images, all that, before you ever go online and use and have your patrons use the portal. So another thing that's very good with our Wi-Fi is we have time and data control. So if you're going to have a captive portal and you have two types of people that use the portal, one might be the patrons of the hotel and then maybe one is the staff. So you can give duration of time. Let's say you have a staff login and you don't want them to have internet access more than 15 minutes every hour. You can set that up and you can deny them service if they're on longer or cut them off of the Wi-Fi service to make sure they're doing their work. Also, you can set traffic limits. So speeding up or slowing down. Maybe you want your patrons, maybe there's a patron that comes to your hotel every week and that person likes Netflix. Well, maybe you want to give them more capacity to download the Netflix. That is possible. So again, you can rate limit up or down, whatever you would like to do. Now, another really great feature for a hotel is to leverage social platforms. So making it easy to log in. You can use the social platforms today of Facebook or Google+. Those were authenticated with those two platforms, so you can use the passwords for those. Very important, good selling feature built in to the captive portal. The other thing that might be of interest to hotels is you can use the demographic information to customize the experience. And what we mean by that is you can look at if they're going onto Facebook or Google Plus and see where they're located and then customize that experience, maybe give them a different splash page than someone else. The other thing that many hotels will ask you for, or retail locations or parks, if you use captive portal, somebody is looking at that advertising. So many people will want to use the analytics. In other words, get the 10 email addresses from the time from 11 o'clock to 1 when they visited the restaurant at the hotel, because then you can email them about lunch specials the rest of the week or text them. So offline analytics are becoming very important. So that is capable with our captive portal and the social platforms we have today. Now the integration to other social platforms are coming. We are working with those vendors. So that's on the way. The other thing that a lot of people like to do is give somebody a voucher to get on the Wi-Fi. And then after a certain period of time, it's free up until, let's say, 1 hour. You're in a coffee shop in the hotel. You've had your breakfast. You've been on the Wi-Fi for an hour now. Then, excuse me, you can then, after the 1 hour, go ahead and put in a payment gateway, which is part of the software. So let's say you can buy another hour and you pay through PayPal. That's not a problem. That's all built in to our captive portal. Very important choices for someone in a hotel environment, being able to give that to them. Very, very important. Now you can also create, export, and distribute customized vouchers. So if you've sold some capability to advertise for a restaurant near a hotel, then you can do some customized vouchers that could be handed out also while they're on the internet, and it gives them complimentary access. It also then could draw somebody back to the hotel to maybe have that breakfast again or come back for the happy hour that evening. All different ways to market with the captive portal. So this is just a look at how easy it is with cnMaestro to do this work. Everything is a pull down. The GUI is very easy and intuitive. Again, PayPal is the payment gateway today that will extend all the major credit cards. So your MasterCard, your Visa, your American Express, all of those, or straight PayPal itself. So that's available too. Now, the captive portal is built in, click-through access, a lot of capabilities, all at no expense, all built into cnPilot. So again, even if you have captive portal and you use cnMaestro, you don't need to have either of those to roam with our Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi, the APs talk to each other, so you don't have to have a session where it goes from your handheld device through a controller over to another location. It's all controllerless, which is important. Now, we also support various hotspot providers. So Purple, Cloud for We, iPass, Jazz, Synergy, and many, many more. We have alliances in all those areas. So if somebody asks, ooh, does this Wi-Fi work with Cloud for We? Yes, it does. So what about some use cases? So these are global use cases, although I can talk about a hotel we've recently done in North Dakota at the very end of these examples. So this was in Kenya, 300 rooms. We provided access with 147 indoor APs to cover those 300 rooms, meeting rooms, the kitchen, the laundry, all those different areas. We also distributed the internet from the buildings to other buildings with our ePMP line. So it was a combination of all things wireless from Cambium networks. So everything came in via one pipe also. Excuse me. The internet came in through the PTP. So again, everything was managed by the cnMaestro. Carnival. We provided for dense deployment, as you can see, just a picture of this in Brazil. This deployment had, we estimate, between 5,000 and 6,000 users. We covered this with our CN E400, cnMaestro managed, and we had always had a minimum of 30 active users on each AP, and had no problems with traffic whatsoever. Good place for our indoor as well as our outdoor APs. And Granada Football Stadium. We served a VIP area. We brought in our internet over our ePMP, and then had upload and download capability. So a lot of different things that we can do in the hospitality industry. Hotels, resorts, stadiums. And our Holiday Inn in Bali, very pretty picture. We covered the whole facility with our E400s and our E500s in the outdoor. We had guest access as well as hotel operation access. So what we did is we put separate SSIDs in, and we can have up to 16 on one. Excuse me. We can have up to 64 SSIDs. So lots of different ways you can configure our cnPilot system. Now, I've gone over a lot of information. And I'd like to talk about an example that we have being installed right now, and I consider it hospitality. We are partnering with a partner that is out of California, and they have won the National Parks bid, and we're installing as we speak at the Grand Canyon. So those use cases will be coming up, and that's the location for use cases, all of our solution papers, which you might want after I just gave you some examples of our hospitality success stories. If you are registered on our partner portal, great information at our knowledge base, and we also have a very very strong community. If you haven't been to our community, there it is, community.cambiumnetworks.com. Also, you can get all of the support guides, user guides, everything, no problem. The one thing we do not do, we do troubleshoot when we get questions on the community, but remember, all of our end users can, through you, our distributor, Microcom, can open a use case or a support case at support.cambiumnetworks.com. Lots of support, lots of information for you on Wi-Fi and all of our wireless solutions. Thank you for your time today. I'd like to open it up for questions.
Judy, thank you very much for your presentation. We all enjoyed it very much. And yes, I do have some questions for you. Let's see, let me get started here with, does Cambium offer various support options? I mean, you mentioned it, but can we get support online, via email, and by phone?
Yes, we do have. We're 24/7, 365. We are a global company. You can open a ticket. You can call a number, an 800 support number. And we do have 2 premium care options also. And those are purchasable options. So let's say you were working with a customer and they had 15 locations and you wanted SLAs, service level agreements, and you wanted a dedicated support person from Cambium. We do have those kinds of options available for you, yes.
Thank you very much. I have another question for you. Is there a kit to seal the product outdoors to make it waterproof?
So with our product, you don't need a kit to seal it. We're rated to IP67, and that is the rating for moisture, rain, snow, sleet, and cold, and dust.
Thank you very much. Does Cambium offer a 3 gigahertz band solution?
I would have to check into the 3 gigahertz. I know we have a 5 gigahertz, but I do not know. Julie, I will get back to you on that.
Thank you very much. And I've got some more questions along a similar line here. Back to the wall plate option. Is that just a 2.4 or both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz?
The wall plate will be both 2.4 and 5.0. It will follow the AC standard when it comes out this fall.
Thank you very much. When will the wall plate item be available to buy? Will that be what you just answered us?
It should. We're trying to move up. We're trying to make it come to market quicker. Right now, we're targeting October.
Thank you very much. Got some more questions here for you. What has been the most reliable firmware for the EPMP 2000 APs?
You know, Julie, I don't know, but I can find out.
Fair enough. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Any other detail on that? Yeah, if there's any other detail we could garner with that, I would appreciate that too. But I can find out from my EPMT VP.
Okay, I got another question about, I think some more gigahertz level questions here. Does Cambium offer a 3.65 solution with a good price point?
I know our price points are very good, but I would have to find out that information.
Okay, let's see. Got another question here. Are you running any other shows or promotions coming up that we could send a sales rep to?
We just finished our CN Pilot road shows, and I was in California. We can do, I mean, I can put together there's sales training online for the 500 product. I'm willing to go over and, you know, an hour, hour and a half and do individual training session if anybody would like that. That's not a problem.
Thank you very much. A couple more questions for you. The new R190V is 802.11n. Will there be an 802.11 AC version available?
We are talking about that. Not at this time. We don't have it available yet, but we are talking about that. We're also looking at a 4x4 for the actual residential routers.
Okay, great. I have another question for you. Can anyone join the Cambium community?
Yes. As long as you're nice on the community, we like you and you can join.
I'm sure that won't be a problem. Judy, thank you so much for answering those questions. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. And if there's any more questions and you want to see the product that we have, please contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view the products mentioned or shown here today, you can visit us at www.microcom.us. And also remember that this webinar presentation has been recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel. So you can reference it again and watch the entire presentation on YouTube. Thank you again, everybody, and have a fantastic day. Judy, thank you for your time and all your information. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.